Good morning, folks. Let me know if you can hear me. Terrific Tuesday. All right, good. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, we're going to get started. 1 minute. All right. So we're here for CB consumer confidence. All right. So welcome to the trade room. 10-minute trade, CB consumer confidence. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director of 10-minute trade. All right, so welcome to the trade room, 10-minute trade, CB consumer confidence. It is possible to. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director of 10-minute trade. All right, so welcome to the trade room, 10-minute trade. All right, I don't know if you remember what happened last month on this report. We tried a trap trade and the program shut down, and I wound up talking extensively to the programmer. Yeah, in the interim, we're updating the trap trade software, but he fixed what caused my system to shut down that day. But we should have a new, we're just updating some more things about the trap trade. So the thing about CB consumer confidence, the report is, it's a coin toss at best, as per the DMM. And I do want to welcome our friends on YouTube. We're streaming, so give our stream a like and subscribe to the channel. That would be great. So right now the markets are opening, and we'll give them a little bit of time to calm down, obviously. I can't stand this sometimes. Bear with me, bear with me. All right, looks like the ES wants to go and test the high on the open. So the funny thing, not the funny thing, but it almost seems the gold trap trade is difficult. We have not found a great setup for gold. The ES setup is kind of interesting. It looked like it would have worked last month had I not been shut down. Markets are heading up today, right now. Now you've got a whole bunch of reports today also. You've got Richmond manufacturing, you've got new home sales. So this is, a total coin toss this morning. I would have thought that CB consumer would be good. One of the problems is that it was so good the last three reports. The last three reports have all been positive. And you also have new home sales, which is potentially a dramatic report. And Richmond manufacturing, I don't think it really will do anything. It doesn't usually even come out on time. Last month, my gut feeling, not my gut feeling, but let me check and see. Last month, I want to just look and see if consumer was trading by itself or if it traded with other news. So let me just take a quick look. So last month it traded March 30th. So last month it traded completely by itself. So this is a report that we have not successfully traded in quite a while. If you look at the DMM, it's totally a coin toss. It's definitely not family money. The reversal does not work. I do not recommend taking this ES reversal. It's not, I don't know where it's coming from. It's not a valid setup. I tested it and there is no tradable reversal. Not in 6 seconds or 3 to 6 seconds that I could see. So last month was a stop. You can see that it's been a 50-50 trade on gold. This month, next month, we're not trading 50-50s. Yeah, the market, the second I said it was going up to test, it reversed. That's funny. Well, they burst up at the open, and then they they gave back almost every penny, and now it's about 30% back. It's about where it was when I started looking at things. So, you know, as a breakout, this trade is a coin toss. Okay, as a breakout, it's a coin toss. Add to the fact that you've got new home sales in the game, and it definitely adds a possible difficulty. If you get consumer confidence and new homes agreeing with each other, you could get an unnatural push in one direction, which would be potentially good for the breakout, but it might not be good for a trap trade. So I think this week, I've talked to Chantal. Chantal's done all the testing on CB consumer confidence. She is not super confident on the setups for this particular trade. So it's not a trade that I would recommend live money on because of its behavior. Now, maybe if the trap trade looks really good today on the ES, then I might start considering it seriously for next month. That's the truth. The trap trade looks good. I might really consider it because the testing, I maintain with Chantal that her testing is not bad. I didn't think it looked that bad on the ES. So let me show you how I would set up the trap trade for the ES. Now you got to be careful too. Also, the Fed, one of the Fed guys is talking in about 5 minutes, but supposedly he's talking about Japan's economy. It shouldn't be a big effect on US markets, but you never know what they're going to say. It's just something you want to be aware of. Now, if this had been a great performing report, I would trade it. It's just that simple. Even with new home sales, I would still trade it, because if it was a great performing report, I'd be comfortable trading it. But it's not a great performing report. And the testing, I tested breakouts, I tested reversals, I tested so many different setups, and none of them jumped out at me as this is the setup to trade. What jumped out at me was how difficult it's been to find a good setup. So when you struggle to find a good setup, you want to be careful and not necessarily throw your money at a report. So our ES setup is a stop of 8. It's tiers, and I'm going to go back. I decided I'm going to go back and call the orders tiers, because it just makes sense. After all the work I've been doing with the trap trade, we've always called it tiers, and you have outer tiers and inner tiers, and we canceled the tier. Everything's based around the word tiers. So I decided that it should be called tiers. So the final version, it's not going to say order 1, order 2. It's going to say tier 1, tier 2. But they're just no different than double brackets. I mean, that's really what the tiers are. They're double brackets. So our setup with the ES is 5 ticks and 10 ticks. Our preparation is 10 seconds. And trust me, if you're confused about the trap trade, do not worry. We're going to have a webinar. As soon as the version is finished, we'll have a webinar. Probably have a big trap trade event in about a month. That's what it looks like, because we're still adding features to it. Our stop is 8. So we've got average price bars is a default. That stays the same. Wait for spike is a default. That stays the same. Stop loss position is a default. Last fill price. The old version, it's not a default. It's set on average price. Always make sure it's last fill price. Bracket center is price at the time. Position size is 1 and 1. Position size 2 is 1. Position size 1 is 1. That just means your bracket orders. You're going to have one order for each bracket above and below the price. Now remember, the idea of the trap trade is if the market goes up, we're selling the market. If the market goes down, we're buying the market. Okay? That's the idea of the trap trade. So I'm going to label this ES trap, ESCB trap. I don't even have to label it trap, it'll say it. So my setup is 1 target for 5 ticks, 1 target for 10. The entry time is 10 o'clock, but really the trade gets activated 10 seconds before 10 o'clock. It's called order preparation. It gives you the opportunity, if the orders appear on the wrong side of support and resistance, you can move them onto the correct sides of support and resistance if you want to and if you have time. And that's our setup. So the concept is, what's going to happen? "10 seconds before 10 o'clock, I'm going to get orders above the current price, 5 ticks and 10 ticks. I'm going to get orders below the current price, 5 ticks and 10 ticks. And those are going to be my tiers. And the market is going to go one way or the other, obviously, we hope. And if it goes long, it'll fill me short. If it goes short, it'll fill me long. If it only fills one of the orders and looks like it's not going to fill the other order, I have this cancel button. I can cancel the outer order or the outer tier. That's what the cancel button does. The close button will close the trade. You want to hit the close button to close the trade. When it hit your target, you want to get all your orders off the screen, and you do that by hitting the close button. Now the markets are volatile this morning. That doesn't necessarily stop you from trading a report. We see lots of volatile markets before news reports. This CB confidence report just doesn't happen to be a great performing report. Now with gold, we can do a setup. Gold is a breakout trade with a bracket of 6, targets of 5 and 10, ironically, the same as the ES. That's just a fluke. A stop of 10. It's target of 5, target of 10, stop of 10. Entry time of 10 o'clock. It's a breakout trade. It is a breakout trade, and I'm going to label it. And I'm going to record this also. And just so everybody has a kind of a heads up, this is a quiet week this week. It's the week before the holiday, Memorial Day holiday. It's one of the quietest weeks I can remember since I've been working here. It's just not a lot of big news events going on. All right, so our gold set up 5 ticks, 10 ticks, bracket of 6. One target for 5 ticks, one target for 10 ticks, a stop of 10 ticks. Entry time of 10 o'clock. Now, remember what I said. This is not a trade. It's definitely not a family money trade. It's really not a trade that I'm putting real money on today, because our setups, really, we've been testing fanatically, because it's been incredibly difficult to find a great setup. My gut feeling, if new home sales doesn't screw it up, my gut feeling is that the ES trap trade is going to be the way that we wind up trading this, especially if it works today. Last month, we had an error in the trap trade. Not sure why, but I had the programmer fix it. He found something, because my trade just canceled for no reason when it shouldn't have. Because this way we were trading the trap trade, and for some reason it did what I wanted it to do. It filled right there. It fills me long. It goes short, and it canceled right there for no reason. And then the trade reversed, and it would have been, looks like it would have been a winning trade. So, hey, look, sometimes technology happens and you have to deal with it. But we've added a lot of new features to the trap trade. The combine button, the break even button. Those are good features in the trade that make it easier to trade it, easier to manage a trade. And a trap trade is normally a trade that you manage, because it does not resolve immediately like a breakout trade does. Yeah, Mark, you won't have to move the orders as much. At least you'll be able to combine them. Combining is good. Yeah, the tier makes sense also. That's what I thought. I just thought I wanted to simplify the labeling. I wanted to simplify the labeling. Yeah, I don't, the trap trade, Forex, stocks, it could work with anything. Any trade, any index that you see that it looks like it's reversing a lot, the trap trade's a great discretionary trade. Obviously, there's no rules that say you can't use our software for lots of discretionary trading because so many setups now in the software that you can do lots of discretionary trading. And that's one of the reasons why we made all the updates. Let's check our time sync. We want to have our computer be in sync, especially for breakout trades. We go to the website time.is. And that puts us in sync. So I chickened out, didn't get a bike, too worried about getting killed because of the area I live in. The streets are so, I cannot explain how bad the streets are. You wouldn't believe me. I may still get it, but I've just been thinking I don't want to die. Oh, what's the name of the bike you're testing, Mark? The Wing. Okay, I never heard of that one. It's in Venice. Oh, Venice, California. Venice Beach. See, everything that gets manufactured in China winds up in California first, because it's cheaper to ship there than to the East Coast. So if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for coming, folks. Give us a like if you like watching these streams. Sign up for the channel and hit the notification if you want to know the next time we're streaming. We usually stream 4 times a week. That's our goal, depending on how busy it is. Yeah, I never heard of the Wing. That one I never heard of. So we're going to see if the gold breakout works and or the trap trade works. New home sales could force the reaction in the same direction if new home sales agrees with CB consumer confidence. I would not even guess today about consumer confidence. I have no idea if the confidence is going to be as high as they're saying. They're saying 119 is expected. That's a very high number. And Financial Juice agrees. That is a very high number. I don't have a clue about what consumers think right now. I just don't know. I just don't know. So on the weekend, over the weekend, it was like almost 90 degrees here. And then it was like 60 yesterday. Excuse me. My car's in the shop. It might be the death of my car, which is very sad. Very sad. My car is a classic. I don't know what I did with the picture. It's a classic 2000 Jeep Cherokee, and it started making a noise as if an airplane was taking off. And I'm hoping it's just a fan, because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like a broken fan in a computer, but so loud that when I'm driving on the street, people look at me like I'm a freak from another planet. It's just so embarrassing. So I brought it in, and frankly, I hope it can be repaired. But the car's so old, you have to draw the line as to what you're going to be willing to spend on repairing it. I mean, the right window doesn't go up or down. It's locked shut because when my daughter lowered the window and then it would never go up again. So my mechanic just pulled it up and put a wooden bar in so it just stays open. The air conditioner doesn't work anymore. If you drive 45 miles an hour, the car shakes like it's going to explode. If you drive it for 10 minutes, it smells like it's going to catch on fire. It smells like it's burning. So I'm hoping that the burning smell relates to the fan. And then if you turn it on, about 50% of the time it won't idle. So I have to drive two-legged. I have to keep my foot on the gas and my other foot on the brake so I can keep giving it gas. So actually you need 4 feet to drive my car now, not 2. It's just unbelievable. My son, he just keeps saying, my son won't get in the car. He won't get in the car. He said, Dad, I'll buy you a car. Get a car. I'll buy you a car. I don't want to buy a car because right now I'm staying in the city and I don't care if someone scratches it or keys it or scrapes it. I don't want a new car. I don't want to deal with it. I really just don't care. I just want to, but I need a car that gets me around. And right now the car is not getting me around. So it's been a little bit crazy. I just kind of let everything build up. What else doesn't work on it? Oh, the back, if you open the back, what do you call it? It's not a window. The hatch, that lets you put stuff in the back, it'll fall and hit you on the head. It has a little shock absorber that stops it, makes it go down slowly. Well, that's broken. It may be time, Ed. It may be time. Well, there's certain things I wouldn't fix. I don't think the air conditioner is probably repairable. Unless by some miracle it just needs Freon, but I think it's probably leaking. But, so it probably needs an alignment. It needs front tires. The big thing is the noise that sounds like an airplane's taking off. All right, we got a minute and a half. I just love having a car that I don't care about. I'm not a car person. I really don't care about what car I drive. I never was a car person. It's just not in my DNA to care about my car. So we got 1 minute. All right, so in 50 seconds, the ES is going to put my orders on the chart for the trap trade. Okay. As long as I did everything correctly. Be safe. I'll be safe. Richmond came out early. No surprise there. It does that all the time. Richmond comes out early. So Richmond's like 18 seconds early. There's my trap trade setup, okay? So we don't want to get filled early. 10 o'clock. Gold's going to have a break. Okay, there's the gold bracket. CB consumer is lower, which I would have expected, which is driving gold up. Trap hasn't been filled yet. CB consumer is 117, not 119. Shrinking my gold stop. It hit the first target. It was only 4 ticks. So gold, it looks like, would have worked. And then the trap trade, we'll watch the trap trade. So the gold, it might just be that we can trade the breakout because it's a tiny bit, it's a little bit better than a coin toss now. Now it qualifies as a little bit better than a coin toss, okay? That was this trade. So, and I think, honestly, folks, that for the past 2.5 weeks, gold has been trading better. I don't know if you've noticed it, but it has been. Now, the ES, very, very slow reaction. It's over 1.5 minutes. I would probably cancel this trade. I'd probably cancel the trade. New home sales were also negative. That may have pushed gold up, okay? That may have given gold the impetus to work. Now that the ES filled, so I can't cancel it, okay? It filled on the short side, cancel the outer tier. It's not going to fill both of them. You can move your stop into safety. Okay, so it would have hit. What's interesting is it looks like both trades would have worked. Looks like both trades would have worked. Let's look at the video. Let's look at the video. Oh, you don't like the short near the lows? Let's take a look. Now, the breakout ironically worked. Again, it's not a family money trade. It's not a family money trade because it hasn't been completely reliable. It hasn't been a trade that's completely reliable. But I do think that in general, gold seems to be trading better for the past, I'd say, 2.5 weeks. Well, you know when we'll really know? Next week, when all the big trades start trading. If we trade some of them as breakouts, we will know if gold is really working, because those are the key bellwether trades that will tell us if gold's working. So let's look at the video. At least let's learn something from this. So we used the normal breakout on gold, which was a bracket of 6 and targets of 5 and 10. And the trap trade, we used targets of 5 and 10 also. Let's watch the breakout trade first. So at 10 o'clock, you couldn't see the news, but it was out, okay? It came out, new home sales came out just then, and they were negative. And then CB consumer came out a little bit late also, okay? It was about 10, 15 seconds late. It hit the first target right there. Then it hit the second target. So gold was pushed upward, possibly by 2 reports that worked: CB consumer and new homes. Now, Richmond came out really early, and it was also negative. It was 12. And the manufacturing index, no, the manufacturing index was a little bit better than expected, but the shipments were lower than expected. So Richmond was a little bit mixed. Then we have the trap trade on the ES. So let's see, in 5 seconds, the trap trade will fill. So the news comes out at 10. A lot of the news was pretty slow to come out also. You got new home sales at about 7 seconds after, and that filled the ES. It jerked the ES up, which filled us on the short side, okay? Filled us on the short side. Now you're going to cancel the outer tier because you're moving too far away from that second order, okay? And that's what the cancel button, it doesn't cancel the trade, it cancels the outer order, okay? That's what that cancel button does. It cancels the outer order. And you've got a reversal taking place. It filled us short when it moved up. Not a big reversal. It's really just chopping around at first. You don't have to cancel the outer order until you're certain or you're very confident that it's not going to get filled, because obviously you're not getting a giant move up. The news was negative. So you got a good break by getting filled to the short side, in my opinion, because the news wasn't good. It almost gets to that outer tier. It's trying to get there. So you didn't have to rush to cancel it, which we didn't. And now it's dropping down. Now you cancel it. Now you cancel it, because you don't want to be in a trade when the target gets hit. Okay, now you cancel it, so when your target gets hit, the trade ends. So that trade would have made you $125. And the gold trade hit its targets, $150. So both trades worked today, ironically, in a report that has not been behaving well. And then gold is just bursting upwards. Gold bursting upwards. Is that from news? I'm not so sure. Not so sure. What do you mean, Mark? What do you mean about new home sales? So new home sales were minus 5.9. They were expecting minus 7. They were expecting minus 7%. So really, new home sales was better than expected. New homes was better than expected. That's good for the trap trade because it creates confusion. Excuse me. On the gold trade, its new home sales came out first, and the mixed news really didn't affect gold, but there was a very big trend in the gold market to begin with. So, you know, I say that, hey, maybe gold's trading better, but it might be today that we were just at a very big trend. And that's an issue that we've been dealing with over and over. Yep, when you have extra news, you're almost always better off with the trap trade. So I think honestly, the ES looks good as a trap trade setup. You probably could risk the breakout. I think the trap trade might be my preferred method of trading this report next month. I still don't think I call this a family money trade unless we get a couple of live winners that make it a family money trade. All right. Okay, folks, so we'll be back this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Okay, I'll see everybody at 4 o'clock for a family money trade. This week, I'll be sending out a link. If you'd be kind enough, sign up for my webinar on Saturday. Whether you come or not, I'll send you a replay if you don't come. We're going to have an awesome sale. And if you're a member, you'll want to take advantage of it. So I'll send, you know what? I can put the link in the room right now. If you sign up for the webinar, it really, really is great for me. It's great for us. I'm working real hard on the slides. That's the truth. Real hard. I think a lot of people might not be going away for the holiday. Maybe a lot of people are not traveling yet, but I think a lot of people are traveling. Certainly airline traffic is up to very high levels, they're saying. Very high levels. Okay, folks, I'll see everybody at 4. I'll see everybody at 4 for a family money trade. Thanks on YouTube. Give us a like so you can learn why and how we do this. And I'll see everybody at 4 o'clock. Okay, folks. Chantal, you could take care of YouTube.